Since age 13, Henry has been battling anorexia nervosa coupled with borderline personality disorder. Evelyn struggles with schizophrenia, auditory hallucinations, paranoia. We have her on a new antipsychotic, hoping that'll curb her violent tendencies. Patients might be here anywhere from 6 weeks to 6 months.
You're not listening! You don't belong here. Get out! Get out!
That's enough, Tom. Why don't we go work on your art project?
Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reese. I'm visiting from Chicago Med.
He's right. I don't belong here. All the doctors think I'm crazy, but I'm not.
Dr. Reese, we're moving on.
She's the worst.
Hey, just so you know, crazy is a word I never use.
Suicide attempt. 15-year-old female from County Psych. She swallowed bleach, sodium hydroxide, and some sort of rust remover.
Hydrofluoric acid. Okay, call toxicology, get an NG tube in her, push an amp with calcium gluconate, and hang a magnesium drip. Watch for VTAC, you get a psych consult.
Got it.
You have to get Dr. Reese for me. I need to talk to her. I wasn't trying to commit suicide. I was trying to see you.
Do you believe it's okay to hurt yourself?
How else could I get to you? It's not like I can ask for a phone call.
Nancy, you could have seriously hurt or even killed yourself.
You have to help me get out of there. They locked me up after I got in a fight with my mom. But she's bipolar, has been for years.
Hey, I'm sorry, but I'm not your psychiatrist.
My mom came at me with a hammer while I was sleeping. I was trying to defend myself. That doesn't make me crazy.
No. If that were the situation, it would be reasonable to defend yourself.
See? You're the only one who said that. All the other doctors think I'm psychotic, but my mom's the one who's crazy.
Dr. Reese, could I speak to you for a second?
I'll be right back.
Could you fill me in? I understand that you ran into Nancy on rounds this morning?
Yes.
Could you say anything to make her think it was a good idea to come over here and see you?
All I said was crazy isn't a word I ever use.
Gotta be very careful the way we talk to younger psych patients. You know, they're much more vulnerable to mixed messages. She seems to think that you're some sort of ally.
I am. Aren't we all?
To get her the right treatment, of course, but this is a young woman who purposefully drank extremely toxic chemicals. I mean, Nancy's been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. She has severe bouts of manic depression.
Uncontrollable hysteria, paranoid delusions.
People who suffer from these disorders can be very persuasive, very manipulative, and a danger to themselves. So we have to be careful. We wouldn't want to put her in a position where she wanted to harm herself again.
Hey, Sarah. You got a second? I heard that most of the psych residents get therapy.
Yeah.
Have you tried it?
Uh-huh. I'm sorry. Can we talk later?
Sure. Yeah.
How's she doing?
Well, we flushed her pretty good. She'll be medically cleared soon, and we'll have to go back to the psych hospital. You buy her story?
I don't know. She's on a 6-month psych hold. Does she seem like she requires that much time locked up?
Don't ask me. Psych's way too spongy. In med school, my head shrink professor took us to the mall and asked us to point out people we thought were mentally ill. No one could agree. That is when I knew I wanted to be an ED doc. Much clearer business.
Yeah. I wish there was a way to evaluate Nancy like an ED doc.
Well, maybe there is. Like I tell my residents, always go back to the history.
Dr. Charles, do you have a minute?
I do.
In order to get a more complete history, I contacted the officer who arrested Nancy and her mother. He sent me his report. Said they often get called to Nancy's house on domestic disputes involving the mother. She's been in and out of jail for assault. In fact, she is at county right now. Please take a look.
This could just mean that, mental illness runs in Nancy's family, and she and her mom suffer from the same disorder.
Or it could mean that Nancy was wrongfully committed by an unstable mother. The one thing we know for sure, it was her mother's testimony that got Nancy committed, and her mother's an unreliable witness.
Sarah, they're telling me to get dressed. They're sending me back.
I know. I'm sorry.
Sarah, please, help me.
I tried. I did, but Dr. Baker has conservatorship over you. According to the courts, she has to be the one to change the diagnosis, and we couldn't change her mind. Hey, I'm not giving up, and you can't either. Stay strong. We'll figure something else out. Okay? Give me a second. Dr. Charles, I know I don't have any definitive proof, but she is sane. I know it. We can't let her go back.
Slow down, Dr. Reese.
Dr. Baker just doesn't want to admit that she misdiagnosed her.
You know what? I happen to agree with you. I'm filing an appeal.
You don't think she's mentally ill?
Can't be positive, but either way, she should not be locked up on a long-term hold based solely on her mother's testimony.
Need some help?
Treatment 1. What happened?
Give me some pressure. Must have grabbed a scalpel from the cart. Tourniquet her arm, give me a hemostat.
It's tied?
I'm not crazy, Sarah. I'm not.
It's my fault.
Why'd you say that?
I gave her false hope. I told her I believe she was stable when she clearly isn't.
Well, not sure I agree. I mean, just made her case a little tougher, but I'm still gonna file the appeal.
Why would you do that when she just tried to kill herself?
Losing hope is not a sign of mental illness. It's a sign of being human. I mean, the poor girl, she has a violent, unstable mother, and her fate is in the hands of a psychiatrist who doesn't believe a word she says. I mean, given those odds, I can absolutely understand why she'd fall into despair.